Marcus Williams hadn't asked for trouble when he installed the koi pond water feature beside his swimming pool, a small tribute to his late wife, Elaine's Japanese heritage. The bubbling sound of water over stones helped him sleep at night in the empty house. But Judith Harrington, the newly elected HOA president everyone called the clipboard queen, had other ideas. Water features require architectural committee approval, Mr. Williams, she announced from his doorstep one Saturday morning, tablet in hand, already logging her third violation report that week. Section 17.3 of the covenant clearly states, "It's a memorial to my wife," Marcus interrupted, watching Judith's pinched expression falter momentarily before hardening again. "Rules are rules. Remove it by Friday or face daily fines." What Marcus hadn't told Judith was that he wasn't just a retired high school biology teacher. He'd spent 20 years as the school's debate coach and knew exactly how to research bylaws. The HOA had no explicit rule against water features under 3 feet tall. But this was just the latest battle in Judith's 6-month campaign against him, which started when he declined to support her HOA presidential bid. That night, after finding his for sale by owner sign mysteriously broken, Marcus installed a state-of-the-art security system with night vision cameras, covering every inch of his property, the kind his tech-savvy daughter had insisted on after the third random act of vandalism to his property. Just in case, she'd said, showing him how to access the footage from his phone. He never imagined just how crucial that system would become. The voicemail from Mrs. Abernathy next door was frantic. "Marcus, there's something wrong with your pool. Come home now." Cutting his fishing trip short by 2 days, Marcus pulled into his driveway to find 3 neighbors standing at his fence, pointing at his backyard. The moment he rounded the corner of his house, the stench hit him, putrid, fishy, overwhelming. His pristine pool had transformed into a writhing mass of slick, serpentine bodies. Dozens, no hundreds, of eels slithered through the once clear water, now cloudy and gray-green. Several had already died, floating belly up among the living. The filter system made a sickening grinding noise. "Jesus Christ," whispered Marcus, dropping his tackle box. Mrs. Abernathy clutched her housecoat closed. "I saw a van parked out front last night. Thought it was pool maintenance you'd scheduled." Marcus's phone buzzed. An HOA violation notice from Judith. Unapproved aquatic life in residential pool. Immediate resolution required. Environmental inspection scheduled for 2 p.m. today. The timestamp showed she'd sent it 3 hours before Mrs. Abernathy's call. His hands trembled as he opened his security camera app. The footage was better than any crime show. At 1:17 a.m., a white van with magnetic signs, reading Aquatic Maintenance Pros, pulled up to Marcus's curb. The driver, unmistakably Judith in a poorly fitted uniform and baseball cap, nervously scanned the street before retrieving large, slushing coolers from the back. She used a key to access his gate, the emergency key that only HOA board members possessed. The night vision cameras captured every calculated move. Judith testing the water, checking something on a printed sheet, then systematically releasing the eels from multiple coolers into different areas of the pool. She meticulously documented her work with photos on her phone. Most damning was the crystal-clear audio. "Enjoy your new pets, Marcus," she whispered to the empty backyard. "Let's see how many HOA violations I can find now." Her laughter was soft but unmistakable. Before leaving, she scattered HOA rulebooks around the pool deck and placed an official-looking water contamination notice on his back door. The local animal control officer whistled low as he watched the footage. "Those are American eels, endangered in this state. Possessing them without permits is a felony, much less dumping them like this." Marcus's daughter, an environmental attorney, was already making calls. The community Facebook group exploded within hours of Marcus sharing selected clips from his security footage. Neighbors he'd never spoken to came forward with their own Judith horror stories. Approved renovations mysteriously denied, selective enforcement of rules, suspicious tire slashings after HOA disputes. The police didn't just find receipts at Judith's house. They discovered a detailed journal documenting her neighborhood improvement campaign against various homeowners, complete with a 5-page plan specifically targeting Marcus. Phase 3. Pool contamination. The entry read, will create health violations requiring expensive draining and refinishing. Estimated financial impact, $12,000, $15,000. At the emergency HOA meeting, Judith arrived confident, prepared to paint Marcus as incompetent and negligent. Her smug expression collapsed when the detective interrupted the proceedings, reading charges that included criminal trespassing, criminal mischief, animal cruelty, environmental crimes, and possession of protected wildlife. The entire meeting was being live-streamed by residents, capturing the moment when Judith, realizing she was cornered, pointed at Marcus and shrieked, "He's been breaking rules for years. Someone had to do something," before being escorted out in handcuffs. What no one expected was the revelation that Judith had pulled similar stunts in 2 previous communities, a pattern that upgraded several charges to felony level. The story went national. HOA Karen's Eel revenge blared across headlines and morning shows. Marcus declined all interview requests, which only intensified public fascination. The insurance company declared the pool a total loss due to chemical contamination from the dead eels. The day contractors arrived to demolish it, they found a neighborhood work party already in progress. 15 neighbors, many whom Marcus barely knew, had organized through the same Facebook group that exposed Judith. They'd researched pool reconstruction, secured donated materials from local businesses outraged by the story, and arranged for professional oversight. "We figured you'd want something different," explained Mrs. Abernathy, unveiling architectural plans for a new pool with an expanded, fully permitted koi pond and Japanese garden, something that would honor Elaine properly. The homeowners unanimously voted to use the HOA's legal settlement from Judith to fund the project's completion. The new board announced reforms to prevent future abuses of power, including a whistleblower system and removal of emergency access privileges. 6 months later, at the grand opening celebration, Marcus found himself surrounded by a community he now knew by name. The reporter who tracked the story asked how he felt about the woman who tried to destroy his property. Marcus glanced at the stone lantern illuminating the koi pond, inscribed with Elaine's favorite saying, "From difficulty blooms opportunity." "I've got good neighbors, new friends, and a better home than before," he said, watching children splash happily in the pool. "So in a strange way, I suppose I should thank her." The former HOA president wouldn't receive the message, however. Judith was serving 18 months in state prison, where her cellmate, ironically, didn't respond well to her complaints about the improper folding of her prison-issued bedsheets.